Time for another edition of the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast. Jeff Chadiha, I should say. Sam McDowell, Soren Petro with you as we break down the schedule. Finally, we're going to get to it game by game, week by week. Where are the wins? Where are the losses? Where's the shocking upset? Where do they get on a roll? Do they get on a roll? We're breaking down the Chiefs' 2026 schedule. Finally, here game by game on the Red, Gold, and Bold.
You are listening to the Red, Gold, and Bold podcast, the most in-depth analysis of the Kansas City Chiefs on planet Earth, breaking down the Chiefs like no one else can. Red, Gold, and Bold is hosted by Jeff Chadiha, Sam McDowell, and Soren Petro. Jeff Chadiha is a senior columnist and on-air personality for the NFL Network and NFL.com. Sam McDowell is a columnist for the Kansas City Star. Soren Petro is the afternoon drive host of the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB in Kansas City. The Red, Gold, and Bold podcast is proudly brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, Kansas City's nationally recognized full-service paving and pavement maintenance contractor, making parking lot problems disappear in Kansas City since 1994. Free consultations, no commissions, in-house crews, and every project comes with a written warranty. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com or call 816-484-3338. Gann Asphalt and Concrete, one contractor, all things parking lot. Now, here are the hosts of the Best Chiefs podcast, Jeff Chadiha, Sam McDowell, and Soren Petro.
Thank you very much, Curtis. We do appreciate it. Time to break down the schedule. 17 weeks of football, 17 games of football over 18 weeks. We get things started. Without further ado, Jeff, we'll let you lead us off here. Denver Broncos, Monday Night Football. I heard some people speculating that they weren't even sure day of the release whether this game was going to be a home or road game. They were still kind of trying to piece the schedule together as they finally got it out there. The Chiefs get the home game. The Broncos fans are upset. So maybe this is a feisty Bronco team that's got to come to Kansas City for that opening Monday Night Football. What say you, Jeff?
Well, they should feel better after the Rashee Rice news broke. Because this game looks a lot better for them now because they were already coming to town with one of the best defenses in the NFL last year and certainly one of the top, maybe the best cornerback in football in Patrick Surtain. And this was going to be a tough game anyway, even though Andy Reid's great in openers. But I just feel like it's an L now just because the Chiefs offense, no matter all the hype about the running game and the enemy coming back and all this stuff, it's like they're going to be hamstrung. And I thoroughly believe Rashee Rice won't be playing this game because of a suspension. And so I got him with an L to start the season, just like last.
He opens them with an L. Sam, you thinking the same thing, or are you looking at it a little bit different? Well, we'll start with you being muted, then we'll go from there.
Rookie mistake.
How did that even happen?
Took his words right out of his mouth there.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I don't even know if I've ever muted.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got him started with a loss as well. I think I said this when the schedule first came out, but you're going to be looking at one of either two scenarios. Either Patrick Mahomes is going to miss the game, in which case you're definitely going to pick them to lose, or Patrick Mahomes is going to be taking his first competitive snap in 9 months against a team that has pressured him more than any other team over the last 3 years. 2 of the last 3 years, the Broncos have pressured him at a higher than 40% pressure rate. Like, they win games because they make the quarterback move. And the whole question going into week 1 is going to be whether or not this quarterback can move. And by the way, with Mahomes, the Chiefs haven't topped 20 points against the Broncos in their last 4 meetings.
So you're saying there's no reason to pick the Chiefs? I had the Chiefs.
You will.
I had the Chiefs. I had them until Rashee Rice. But I think that is the difference. I think here we go again with what are they going to do? That's an issue. So, yeah, I've got the loss. I've got the loss there for all the reasons you stated. I think Denver styles make fights. They know how to play the Chiefs. There's confidence. They backed it up. A couple of years ago, Sean Payton saying, we felt real good about our matchups, which if they'd gotten through, which was pointing to a game against the Kansas City Chiefs, there's no fear whatsoever in Denver now. In fact, if there's any fear, the fear is in Kansas City. And so first games are weird. Weird things can happen that could affect, the game either direction. But no, I go loss. I think Denver comes in and gets the win, and the Chiefs starting the whole 0-1. The town freaks out. They're losing their mind because, here we go again. It'll be a real different feel in Kansas City if they come out 0-1, right? Because it ain't going to be like last year where it's like, plenty of time, lots of games. It'll be like, oh, my God, this is just like last year. So it'll feel real different. I think it's a critical game for them to try to get a win at home against Denver. And right now, I'm just not seeing what I need to say it's a win. More information. I reserve the right to change my opinion, but I think it's going to be hard for me to see something in St. Joe short of Peter Woods just throwing guys all over the field or Mansour Delane picking Mahomes off 10 times. And then we'll wonder about Mahomes when he's playing. So maybe that it won't even do it. But yeah, it's tough. I got a loss here as well. Week 2, Colts on Sunday Night Football. Jeff, where do you go?
I have a win here, but this is not going to be an easy game either. This game feels a lot like the game they played against Jacksonville last year, even though Jacksonville was a much worse team coming into the season. It just feels like the Colts, I think, have a pretty high variance rate depending on how healthy is Daniel Jones going to be coming off that Achilles. Can they get back to where they were running the football with Jonathan Taylor they did last year, and he was an MVP candidate through about 8 or 9 games? Can just get some of these young receivers step up? Can Alec Pierce be got a huge contract in the offseason? Can this defense, with Sauce Gardner, can he deliver in the way they hope so? But I still feel like the Chiefs, backs against the wall, there's no way they can look at 0-2 2 straight seasons. So that's probably the only reason I'm picking them here is because logic suggests they can't fall in the same hole 2 years in a row.
No chance they lose this game. That's not what he said. But Sam, how do you view it? Indianapolis week 2.
Yeah, I feel like all three of us, the way we picked week 1 is setting up like a monumental week 2 game for them because for years I thought, including last year, I thought this team could fairly easily overcome 0-2 and at least make the playoffs, and that the impact was actually going to be on their seeding. How can you get the number 1 seed starting 0-2? And instead, there was just a team that never recovered. I've got them beating the Colts. I just don't think the Colts are that great. And when we're sitting here in Kansas City wondering how a quarterback's going to come back from an ACL injury, an Achilles injury, and for a even more prone to run the ball quarterback, I just think there's a lot of questions in Indianapolis for a team that I don't think is that great to begin with.
Yeah, I'm with you. I view the Colts the same. I think they were kind of the best version they could be early on. I think there was a market correction coming, and then they lost the quarterback, and it hit like an avalanche. Plus, I think it's diminishing returns for Daniel Jones the longer he stays anywhere. And so I don't see it. I think the Colts take a step back, and I don't think this is – I guess – listen, when have the Chiefs kicked anybody's ass? I haven't unleashed the fury in 2 years with this team, so – I'm not going to say that here, but I do think that this should be an easier game. And coming off that game with the Broncos, I think it's a get-right game for the Chiefs, and they get it right against the Colts and get a win. They go to Miami. Jeff, where do we go next?
This is where you should save your fury. I would defy any of us to name 10 players on the Dolphins roster right now. They gave away so many guys in the offseason for the last couple of years. Like, who's left? So Malik Willis starting at quarterback, new head coach and Jeff Hafley. I mean, they've gotten rid of everybody. Tyreek Hill is not going to be playing. I'm imagining his knees not going to be ready for that. And Jalen Waddle got traded. I mean, Devin Achan's still there, but aside from that, this is the game where they should really show what they can be at full strength. And again, if Rashee Rice is there or not, this should be an easy win. This should be a double-digit victory.
All right, easy win. Sam, you see it the same way?
Yeah, I actually think that the Chiefs are playing the 4 worst teams in the NFL this year. For all you can make about the difficult stretches, I think they play the 4 worst teams in the league, and they play one of them twice. And so I actually think the Dolphins are the very worst team in the NFL. If they lose this game, there's going to be a lot of worry heading into week 4.
They don't lose this game. This one is closest thing to throwing your helmet out on the field and getting a win. I think the Dolphins recognize that they need a complete reset, the Tua contract thing being part of it. And this is the year they sacrificed. They threw some money at Malik Willis just to see let's see if we can develop this guy, but I don't think he's the answer. I think he's a nice backup, but I don't think he's a good starter. If they can't beat the Miami Dolphins, then it's going to be a long, long season. There's going to be a whole new set of people making decisions for the Kansas City Chiefs at the end of the 26th season. Raiders, that's the team they played twice that you think is one of the four worst, I'm assuming, Sam. You want to go ahead and just confirm that for me and put win down here for the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think they're the fourth worst team in the league. Now, they did spend $300 million on day one of free agency, but they were in a position to overspend, so I don't really think it's like $300 million real value. And this is, I think, one of the biggest benefits they have in their schedules. If they start Mendoza, they get to see him earlier rather than twice late in the year, like the way the schedule used to be, playing all your division late.
Okay. Jeff, I assume you're on the win track here as well?
Yeah, but I feel it's going to be a tighter game because of all those additions, that they're making smarter moves. I'm not so certain that Kirk Cousins is going to be playing this game, given the time of year it is, and I think they want to give Mendoza the opportunity to get his feet wet or get his feet underneath him before he gets his feet wet in real game action. And, defensively, I think having Max Crosby come back makes a difference. I think having Tyler Linderbaum at center to help the run game out. And this could be a lot like the games they played a couple of years ago when they dropped the ball at the end of the game, where they made some big plays. And they're a wild card, but they're certainly not going to be a team I would pick to beat the Chiefs at this point in the season. So I'll take the Chiefs for getting a win.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay. I've got them down for a win as well. I just don't think the Raiders are ready. I just don't think it's time yet for them. They're doing some things right. The Chiefs should still be good, very good. I think they have the potential to be very good defensively. Offensively, they should at least be able to run the ball. I think that makes it good. It's going to make it too hard for the Raiders. And I just don't see the scenario where the Chiefs should be losing to the Raiders, particularly coming off the week before with the Miami Dolphins and the bye week on the other side. I think the Chiefs get the win. All right, coming out of the bye week, the Los Angeles Chargers, week 5.
We all have the same for the first four, by the way. I think this is where it's going to start to veer off a little bit.
Start to spike in different directions. Okay. They come out of the bye week. Andy Reid nails in the bye week. He was better earlier, but still pretty good coming out of the bye week. Jeff, what do you got against the Chargers?
Well, because of his bye week success, I'm giving him a win here. But this was a game I thought long and hard about giving them an L, because I think they're going to lose at least one. They're going to lose the Chargers at some point this season. It just depends on where it's going to happen. So I think it's not going to happen in week 6 because of that bye week. And the Chargers can stay healthy. I like them a lot to make some headway in this division. But it just feels like the Chiefs have to start fast, and they got to keep that momentum going. And so they'll be 3-1 going into that game. Coming out of it at 4-1 will be huge for them with the next 2 games they got coming up.
All right. Sam, where you go?
Yeah, the Chargers are actually the AFC West favorites in Vegas, ahead of the Chiefs, but also ahead of the Broncos are third on a lot of those lists.
Yeah, I saw one of them. They were all pretty close, and the Chiefs were.
They're all close.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I have seen some of the markets that had the Chiefs slightly ahead of the Chargers, and some of them have the Chargers slightly ahead. So, I've got the Chiefs winning as well for the same reason Jeff mentioned. I mean, it's hard to ignore the advantage that Andy Reid's taking advantage of his entire career. He's 22-5 following the bye in the regular season. I've mentioned that it's even greater when he's the only team coming off of a bye when you include the playoffs as well. And Mahomes is 11-1 coming off of a bye when the other team's not. Now, the one loss was last year against the Broncos. The Broncos did have kind of a mini bye when they had 10 days off after playing Thursday night. But I still think rest of that sort of full week means a lot. So that's the reason I've got him beating the Chargers here.
I can see them losing this game. I mean, I think some of the shine is rubbed off of the Andy Reid. I mean, at one point, wasn't that number at like 15-1?
Oh yeah.
So does that put him at like eight? What? I don't know. I feel like
it was in the mid 80s.
Yeah,
mid to high 80s. Yeah.
What? I mean, do we know what he is the last 5 or 6 years overall? I mean, I know it's still pretty good, but I just don't feel like that's as much of an advantage. I think that a lot of that was because he had lesser coaches in his division. Jim Harbaugh knows how to coach. I had this as a loss at one point. I still think it could be a loss. I think all 4 Charger Bronco games, it would not shock me if the Chiefs went 0-4 there. I don't think they're going to do better than 2-2, but I'm going to give them a win here, just narrowly, getting the win against the Chargers. So right now we're the same, pretty boring, 4-1. Everyone's feeling good. The Chiefs are back. There's nothing to fear here. Don't worry about nothing. That's where we sit right now as the Chiefs get ready for the second third. We're kind of breaking it down into thirds of the schedule. We'll come back and pick up with that game in Seattle after you hear from our friends at Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Concrete season is in full swing and asphalt paving is revving up. So right now is the time to get your property on the schedule with Gann Asphalt and Concrete. Whether you need new concrete work, a parking lot repaved, crack filling, seal coating, or full asphalt installation, their experienced crews handle it all right here in Kansas City. Don't wait until the rush hits. Call today for a free bid and secure your spot before the calendar fills up. Get the process started right now at GannAsphalt.com. That's GannAsphalt.com. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lots. Italian Delight was the first restaurant to bring true New York-style pizza to Kansas City almost 50 years ago. They sell whole pies or pizza by the slice, or enjoy their classic strombolis, calzones, and sausage rolls. Sandwich lovers, check out their lineup of hot and cold subs, the combo, the meatball, or the Philly cheesesteak, just to name a few. And don't forget the pasta. Their famous lasagna and classic chicken Alfredo always hit the spot. And if you're hungry for lunch, check out their daily lunch specials, starting at under $10. Italian Delight can even cater your next work function or party. Dine in, carry out, or delivery, it's Italian Delight. Located just 3 minutes east of Kansas Speedway at 8145 State Ave in KCK. Check out the menu and order online at ItalianDelightKS.com. Kansas City's own Italian Delight. All right, week number 6, Jeff. The Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. I was shocked when you told us before we got started that you really loved them to go in there and put the beat down on Seattle.
That's right. Yeah.
Right?
Week
Is that
7.
how you're looking at it?
Yeah, week 7.
Oh yeah, 6 game week 7.
Yeah. Now this is this is going to be this was one of the easier ones to call in this forecasting of the schedule. Seattle's just a better team. I don't know how you can look at the Chiefs offensively and see how they're going to do a whole lot of damage against that Seahawks defense. And I just feel like when you have a young secondary coming in, and you've got the guy in Jackson Smith-Njigba, who was the offensive player of the year. Cooper Kupp's older, but he's still a very savvy receiver. They got some good tight ends. I think it's going to be a tough game. They're going to run the football well. And so even though they lost their offensive coordinator, I just feel like the Chiefs don't match up well with the Seahawks right now.
Yeah. Loss as well, Sam?
Yeah, I've got the Seahawks in this game. This is the first time the Chiefs will be underdogs of the season. Obviously, there's some things that could change that, but it's not just that the Seahawks are good. It's also the style of defense that they play. They forced the 3rd highest check down percentage in the league last year. They played the 3rd highest percentage of too high defense. Like, it's all the stuff that the Chiefs struggle against, even when the defense isn't great, just because it's a style. But this team is also really, really good defensively. I'm surprised that this line is just a field goal.
Yeah. I do think it's one of those games where, I think if the Chiefs come in at 4-1, Seattle's definitely going to beat them. Right? If the Chiefs would limp in at 3-2 or 2-3, then I could see the look ahead factor for the Seahawks. Oh, there's a 6-11 team that's not very good this year. And maybe you go in and you surprise them, you pull the upset, you've got a crafty game plan, you get it done, you get a couple of turnovers, but you line them up and play these two. I'm with Sam. I'm surprised the number's not bigger, unless we're expecting a big regression out of the Seahawks or a hangover or something like that. This game has Seattle written all over it. How about Denver? That's next at the Broncos. By the way, that was a Sunday night game, the Seattle game at the Broncos, 3:25 on CBS. Jeff, how do you see this one?
Another L, coming off a physical game in a really loud venue, going to another place, play another physical opponent, really loud venue. And look, Denver. I think Denver is just roster. Let's just for Seattle. Denver's just a better team right now, roster wise, than what the Chiefs have. You look at the outside of quarterback, where the Chiefs have an advantage on the Broncos right now on paper. You can't find it. It doesn't exist. I mean, maybe you could say running back Kenneth Walker may be better than what they've got with Dobbins and Harvey and whoever else they drafted, but the Chiefs Broncos better receiver. Offensive line is probably Broncos offensive line was pretty good last year, and then defensively they're not better anywhere. Yeah, they're probably best offensive line, arguably best in football.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You'd love to say, based upon what you've invested in your offensive line, that you have the better offensive line, but I don't think that's the case. I think Denver's is better. Yours is just more expensive.
Exactly. So to me, it's you're in their place, and they're going to be trending in the right direction. Looking at the second half, I think it's an L for the Chiefs there too.
Okay. How about you, Sam?
Well, Soren, you mentioned the Chargers games, the one you went back and forth on. This is the one I've gone back and forth on the most because Patrick Mahomes has only been swept one time in his career, and it was last year against the Chargers, losing Brazil and then losing the game where he doesn't have the opportunity to win the game on the last drive of the game. First time he's ever been swept. So I think it's difficult to pick a sweep. I also am going to be picking the Broncos to have regression, but this is a really tough trip because it comes off of a primetime game and then way out west, as far west as you can get, then you got to turn around and travel back west again. And so I just think that the circumstances of this game don't fall at a great time for the Chiefs, and I'm picking the Broncos.
I think it's a disaster. I mean, the only thing worse would be traveling back from a Monday night in Seattle.
Yeah.
I mean, but you basically lose all day Monday. You're not going to get back to like dawn on Monday. Everybody's sleep habits are going to be all screwed up, and then you're going to turn around and play a team that knows you on short notice. I mean, you do have the bye week a couple weeks before, so you can get some work done on this game. Then that maybe helps a little bit, but I did not go back and forth on this. This was almost as easy as picking Seattle to win. This is a loss. I think. Listen, in all these games, I'll say, it's the NFL. Anything can happen. You get a pick six to open the game and a punt return for a touchdown, and all of a sudden the game looks totally different. But on paper, no. I do think Denver might regress a little bit, but not that much. Sean Payton knows what he's doing. Chiefs lose this football game. So we're all the same, 4-3. We have not diverted. Is it the mighty New York Jets, Jeff, that we fork in the road here? A noon game at home, Jets. Both of their fans in attendance going nuts, looking for the upset. What do you see?
Oh, you got Justin Fields with all the secrets. To the Jets' success. They can give you the whole playbook. This is an easy win. This is as easy as the Dolphins game. I don't know where they rank in Sam's ranking of the worst teams, but I'm guessing they're either 2 or 3 because we got 1 and 4 already, right? Yeah.
Number 2.
Yeah. So,
by the way, number 1 and 2 in the same division.
Yeah. So I don't really see this being much of a game. And, like you said, some things can happen, but this Geno Smith, and no, I don't see it happening.
Sam?
I really think the Chiefs should play Justin Fields and let him get some revenge in this game, and they'd still be a touchdown favorite in this game. I've got the Chiefs.
Yeah, Jets have got a long way to go to get better. They damn well better win this game. The Dolphins, Jets, and I assume in a couple of games we're going to get to your other top 4 loser. They better handle business against all 3 of those. I don't see a path to the playoffs losing even one game to any of those 3 opponents. So I've got them beating the Jets handily. Now they go to a game that could be a little bit trickier. At Atlanta, it's a noon game. What do you got, Jeff?
Well, yeah, I agree with you. This is, this 3-game stretch here we're talking about, weeks 9-11, is their easiest stretch. But yeah, Atlanta is the wild card in here because they went there a couple of years ago and we're in a dogfight with a team that has a lot of those same players still there. Weren't as good defensively. They gotten better, got a better pass rush with some young guys playing. And it all depends on what Tua or Penix, whoever's playing, and Stefanski can come up with, the head coach. But it's a win for the Chiefs. But to me, they got enough talent to upset them. But I'll go with the W for now because they got to get back in the win column.
Okay, gets the win on the road. Sam?
I really thought Jeff would pick the Falcons in that. I will say this quietly feels like one of the Chiefs' most important games of this season. Because when you look at the schedule, the really only obvious time to build momentum is this 3-game stretch. And you lose this, and I don't really know when you're going to go on a run throughout the rest of the schedule, because it gets a lot harder from here. So I do have them getting a win in this game, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one. We'll see what they can do. They've got an offensive mind now running the show. They've, got some good offensive pieces. I mean, it all comes down to who's playing quarterback and are either one of them healthy. Like maybe you take certain parts of Tua and certain parts of Penix and you could build a healthy quarterback. But, I think that's who knows who's going to be playing.
Could you build a good one?
Yeah, well, I think you could if you took the right pieces here and there. I'll take the win, but it's closer than I think Chiefs fans want to admit here. And I think the Falcons could be a sneaky team, especially if they get rolling behind one of those quarterbacks with their offensive weapons and they start feeling good about themselves. And they've got enough time to be doing that by the time the Chiefs get there. I think maybe getting Atlanta while they're still trying to figure it out earlier might have been a little bit easier, but this is still a game. If you're a playoff team, you need to win this game. And because they've got so many difficult games, you got to take care of the ones that you're definitively the better team. And I think the Chiefs are definitively the better team. Arizona is up next, Jeff. Another nooner on CBS. Team goes west to east. By that point, will they be on November 22nd? Are we on daylight savings? Are they off 2 hours at that? Are off daylight savings? I can't remember, when do we go off? So it's Thanksgiving, isn't it? No, it's Halloween.
It's like Halloween weekend, yeah.
Fall back, spring ahead. That's how.
So we are at. So we fall back. So are they? I don't know. Whatever it is. Anyway, they're coming west to play a noon game. What do you got, Jeff?
And probably colder weather by then for sure. Maybe even some snow.
Yeah.
By that point, so it's the Cardinals. Jacoby Brissett, Gardner Minshew, maybe their starting quarterback. Not a ton of weapons. They're probably hoping Jeremiah Love gets it going. Marvin Harrison's been one of the biggest disappointments the last couple of years with what he's been able to do in that offense as a receiver. So, yeah, this could be 3 wins in a row. They got to make it happen. If they don't go 3-0 in this stretch, I'll be surprised, and they should be concerned.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, I've got the Chiefs. I mean, this is actually the biggest line of the season. I think it's at 11.5. Can you imagine being a Cardinals fan and your team is in a holdout contract dispute with Jacoby Brissett to play quarterback?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that is a low. I mean, you need Jacoby Brissett to come to training camp.
Or the $8 million man, Gardner Minshew.
I think it's up to 8. I think he's making like 4.5 or 5, and it's up to 8. He might get there. I mean, he's the guy who should be rooting for Jacoby just to stay home so he could potentially reach his incentive.
Well, I think Marvin Harrison should be rooting for Gardner Minshew because he'll just sling it up to him.
Yeah,
he'll get some chances to turn his career around if it's Gardner Minshew. Yeah, I got the Chiefs all day. They win this game. No quarterback, no pick for me. The Chiefs have to win this game. Right now, by the way, I will point out as we get ready to go to our 12th game. We've got what? We have not had a different game yet.
12th week. We're through 10 games, 11 weeks.
Yeah.
7-3. We're all 7-3 at this point.
7-3. All of us are at 7-3. What?
They were 6-3 last year, right? Before the wheels came off. Is that where they were?
No,
they were 5-3.
6-4.
They get up that high?
Well, they won 4 out of 5. Yeah, they were 5-3 because they were 5-5 after that loss in Denver.
Okay, so that's right. Yeah.
So, all right. Before we take our next break, one more. Now they head into the hellacious stretch, beginning with Thanksgiving night, 7:20 at Buffalo on NBC. Jeff,
this is, to me, was an easy one. This is a loss. They haven't won at Buffalo since Clyde Edwards-Helaire went off, right, in his rookie year. And it just a short week, traveling on the road, playing a tough team that you see every year who always beat you in the regular season. I just don't see where this is going to be good for them. Josh Allen against a really young secondary. This could be rough. So I'm going with the L.
Sam, I assume you follow suit.
Yeah, I've got the Bills in this game. Mahomes has lost 5 straight games against the Bills, wherever the game's been played in the regular season. Yeah. Obviously, they've had the won the games that have mattered most, but they all matter. And the Chiefs have lost 5 straight against them in the regular season. I will say what this exercise prompts you to do is view some of these games a little bit differently. Like the way that Broncos game falls that I mentioned earlier. This game, I don't think falls at quite a terrible time that I thought when I initially looked at the schedule, because you think, okay, you got to travel on a short week. But I don't see the Jets, Falcons, and Cardinals being these physical teams. They're going to beat up the Chiefs going into that game in Buffalo. So I'm not sure this game falls at quite the horrible time I thought it did when the schedule first came out.
I'm also intrigued by what the Bills are going to be. They're in a new stadium, different environment. Such a disappointing year last year. How much do they bounce back? But they will be balls to the wall for this game against the Chiefs, no matter what the Chiefs' record is. They'll either be smelling blood and looking to put the hurt on them, or they'll be seeing it as, their big moment in the sun. I've got the Bills, although I'm kind of with you, Sam. I did tinker with the idea of the Chiefs getting it going. I feel like when one team feels like they own the other one, that's when the wheels kind of start to come off in this series. So we'll see if that ends up being the case this time around. All right, we've got the final 6 games of the year to make our way through. We'll do it after you hear from Italian Delight. Italian Delight was the first restaurant to bring true New York-style pizza to Kansas City almost 50 years ago. They sell whole pies or pizza by the slice, or enjoy their classic strombolis, calzones, and sausage rolls. Sandwich lovers, check out their lineup of hot and cold subs, the combo, the meatball, or the Philly cheesesteak, just to name a few. And don't forget the pasta. Their famous lasagna and classic chicken Alfredo always hit the spot. And if you're hungry for lunch, check out their daily lunch specials, starting at under $10. Italian Delight can even cater your next work function or party. Dine in, carry out, or delivery, it's Italian Delight. Located just 3 minutes east of Kansas Speedway at 8145 State Ave in KCK. Check out the menu and order online at ItalianDelightKS.com. Kansas City's own Italian Delight. Gann Asphalt and Concrete is looking to grow their team. If you have heavy construction foreman experience with heavy equipment, asphalt or concrete labor, or just want to learn a new trade, contact Gann Asphalt and Concrete to join their team today. Top of the market pay, company provided insurance, and paid time off and holiday pay are just a few of the great reasons to join Gann's expanding team. Learn more about this great opportunity with Gann at GannAsphalt.com/careers. That's GannAsphalt.com/careers. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lots. All right, here we go. Stretch run. They go to another Thursday night game after playing on Thanksgiving, and they go, they're at least traveling the same direction. Buffalo to KC on to LA. Take on the Rams on Thursday Night Football. Jeff, where do you go here?
You know what? Again, this is with Seattle. The Rams they're better than Seattle on paper. They got everything you need, and we'll see how their special teams plays, but I just feel like they're just going to overwhelm the Chiefs with their talent. And Matthew Stafford again against a young secondary. They can run the football. Who's going to stop Puka? Devontae, they can overwhelm me, and then their pass rush and their secondary is improved now. So this might be a blowout, to be honest with you.
Okay. Rams big, he says. Sam, where are you?
Yeah, I see this game similarly. I actually think that if all teams are healthy at this point of the year, the Rams are going to be the best team. But the Rams do have health questions because the Rams rely on older players. It's not just the quarterback; it's their best wide receiver. Like the Rams,
even their young wideout is injury prone.
Yeah. I mean, they rely on guys who miss games frequently. So but to me, that's the only question about the Rams. I think the rest of the roster. And by the way, one of the advantages people don't talk about this time of year that they should is the Rams got a gift when no one took their defensive coordinator either. Like they've got the chemistry coming back with their defensive system. And their offensive system obviously has been the same for a long time.
All right, Jeff, we're on to Cincinnati now. 3rd game in a row.
Oh, you get an L? You give him an L?
Yeah, I've got an L. Yes, right. For all the reasons you guys said. Yes. That one was easy for me. That's why I think they've got a shot in Buffalo, but then going out west, no shot.
Is there a longer trip in the NFL than
Australia?
Buffalo to Continental? From Buffalo to LA. I mean, to make those back to back, I guess maybe like Seattle, Miami. Seattle, Miami.
Would be
Seattle,
the
Miami.
I will say this: if they do end up beating the Rams, do the Rams play on? The Rams probably play on the Sunday before.
I'd assume so. Yeah.
So I mean, one of the things the Chiefs did.
I think the Rams also play on Thanksgiving, right?
Oh yeah, they play.
They
Who are
play
they playing?
Do they play the Packers on Thanksgiving?
No. Is that what they do?
They play They actually have an extra day because they play on Thanksgiving Eve.
Oh, they've got that Wednesday night game.
So the Rams have extra rest in that game compared to the Chiefs.
So yeah, well, that makes it even harder. I was going to say if it was,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, no, they lose that game. All right, on to Cincinnati then. On December 13th, we're in week 14.
On to Cincinnati.
To Cincinnati. We're on to Cincinnati now, Jeff. What do you got?
This was the toughest call for me, and just because I'm talking about potentially giving the Chiefs 3 straight losses, which they had Brendan Mahomes there. I guess they had it last year, but he was part of that was him being hurt, right? Or am I wrong about that? Did the 3 of those losses come while he was still playing?
They would have had it after going 5-3. Then they got to. Did they get to 5-6?
Yeah,
have we already put 2025 in that much of a no? Because they just lost the Bills, Broncos, and then beat the Colts.
Yeah, okay.
So they had them for the next 3 games though. They had them for the Cowboys, Texans, and then the Chargers game. They had them for all 3 of those.
That's what it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, picking them for 3 straight losses is hard, but I also feel like again I keep coming back to the same thing about young defensive backs. How are they going to match up with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins? Bengals have put a lot into their defense as far as free agent acquisitions, and their defense actually played well in the last 6-7 weeks of the season. People don't realize that, but their numbers were way up as they got more comfortable with Al Golden's system. And so I went with an L here. 3 games on the road. Joe Burrow, if he's healthy, if he's not healthy, I'm going with a victory for the Chiefs. But I think he's going to be healthy. I think they're going to be tough to beat with that passing game.
Okay, Sam.
I've got the Chiefs. I mean, I felt like I had to pick them to win a tough road game at some point in the season. And the Bengals, to me, felt like the most obvious spot. One, because the if of Joe Burrow's healthy is a major if compared to the rest of the teams that they play on the road. Also, and I realize the Bengals have changed their defensive coordinator, but it's always an opportunity to point out that for all the talk about the Bengals being like some Patrick Mahomes whisperer, he's crushed this team statistically over his career. He had, I think, the worst half of football he's ever played in the AFC Championship game. I know they had lost earlier in that season, but they put up 30-some points. His career passer rating was 108. Like, he's crushed this team. And I just don't think that – I think that we talk about this motivation stuff. I think that gets to him as much as anything. I think he's bothered by the fact that people think that he's got some team that has the answers out there on him.
Mini bye with 3 extra days rest in this game. And that's one of the things I started to say earlier. I don't think I finished the point that they do get some extra rest. Like, they've had a lot of times in their time where they are the team that is, always facing teams on short rest. I think they're plus like 10 or 11 days total of rest. I can't remember what the number was, but they were one of the teams.
So I think they're like right middle of the pack, aren't they?
Are you sure?
I was thinking. Sure. No, not sure.
Well, maybe but in this is one that they do have extra rest. And that's one of the reasons why I like them against the Bengals. Plus a team that they want to, I think that they are pissed off to go after. I also think the Bengals have Joe Burrow and then a lot of other questions. So I got the Chiefs getting the win in Cincinnati as well. They're going to win somewhere on the road. And so I've got this one. We've got them in Atlanta. That could be, a difficult spot too, and this will be a difficult game, but I think the extra rest helps. And so I'll give them the win on this one. Monday Night Football is next against the New England Patriots in Kansas City. Jeff, what do you think about the fighting?
The Chiefs
AFC champs.
Just FYI, the Chiefs are overall a -2 on rest days.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought I saw that they were like plus 4 or 5 days or plus.
There's only 2 games where they have an advantage. They've got a +7 with the bye, and then you just mentioned the +3. Those are the only 2 they have an advantage.
Really? Okay.
They've got a -4. Which I don't know which one that is. A -3, a -3, and a couple minus ones. We just identified one of the -1s with the that Rams playing on Thanksgiving Eve and the Chiefs playing on Thanksgiving. I'm sure the Monday nights are their other -1s.
Okay. All right. My bad. I stand corrected then. All right. Still Monday Night Football. Chiefs hosting the Fighting Rossinis. Jeff, I went ahead and did it.
Yeah.
What do you got in this one?
Low hanging fruit. I got to win. I feel like I'm not going to pick them to lose 4 straight games. And coming home, they'll be fighting. I think that they should still be fighting to be in the playoffs at this point. So every win you can get, every advantage you can get will matter. And so I do like them in this contest for that reason. And I was not crazy about the Patriots last season. I do like schedule driven and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I just feel like they're going to have to win this game and they'll get the win.
You got him at 8-6.
Yeah.
8-6 now. Yeah, after this one. Yep. He's at 8-6. Sam, where are you?
I've got him winning. I've got him at 9-5. The Patriots are going to be dealing with a lot this year, and I think they'll take a step back. I don't think it's going to be significant. I do like their quarterback, but and they added some stuff on defense as well. But I think this is a tough game for the Patriots.
I like their quarterback. I like him. I don't love him. I like him at this point. I love the coach if his head's in the game, and I don't know that his head will be in the game. And so I do think they take a step back. They were schedule driven. They got every kiss you could get in the playoffs. And so because of that, I got the Chiefs getting the win here at home on Monday Night Football against the Pats. All right, Sunday, December 27th, 3:25 game against the 49ers at Arrowhead. Where do you go with this one, Jeff?
Unless the Niners come in here all beat up like they were last year, and even that didn't stop them from still playing good football at the end of the season, it feels like they match up well with the Chiefs. They feel like the coaching's there. They're going to be able to run the football with McCaffrey. And they're going to be fighting for their own division life. They think the Rams, the Niners, and the Seahawks are all going to be in the same place they were last year late in the season. We're all going to be trying to find a way to get top seeds and win that division. And so tough one for the Chiefs, but I like the Niners in this one.
Okay, he's got the Niners. How about you, Sam?
So you've got them at 9-6.
They're 8-7.
8-7.
8-7.
Okay. I've got the 49ers in this game too. It's going to be a little bit backwards because I've talked about health, and the 49ers are a team that can never seem to remain healthy. But the fact that they were more injury riddled last year than anybody, and still, a shot away from an NFC Championship game. I think this team's pretty good.
I've got a win for the Chiefs. I think the 49ers are a declining entity. I think they've got issues in the front office ranks. I think they've got people that are starting to question what all's going on there. I think some of the shine is coming off. I don't think Trent Williams has any shot of playing like 10 games, and they're putting a bunch of cap room into him. I think the 49ers are going to take a step back. They were also schedule driven off what they were doing. Everybody's banged up late. And so, yeah, I got the Chiefs getting the win here. By the way, that's the first difference you and I have, Sam, at this point. So I got a win for the Kansas City.
I've got 9-6. You've got 10-5, and Jeff's got 8-7 then.
Yep. Jeff, at the Chargers.
Well, I said they were going to lose Chargers at some point, and it wasn't back in week 6. So this is the game where they're going to take that L. And Chargers
eliminate them for the playoffs probably at that point.
Yeah. Well, and the Chargers, I think, are be playing for a division championship if the odds makers are right, or whoever's picking them within the odds makers to be a threat for the division. But again, this all comes back to them being healthy. And if they're out there with a beat up offensive line and Alt's not playing, or Lad McConkey's hurt, or Khalil Mack's done, it's going to be a different conversation. But on paper right now, I like their chances of being in the mix late. And they beat the Chiefs twice last year, and they'll get them at least once this year.
After a 7-3 start, the Chiefs now gone 1-5 on Jeff's scorecard. All right. How about you, Sam? What do you got in this one?
I've got the Chargers. There's this sentiment out there that the Chargers didn't do anything this offseason, which, look, personnel-wise, that's true. But they actually have like major additions. I think Mike McDaniel is a significant addition for the Chargers. And the other thing is, like, did everyone forget they played without both tackles last year?
Yeah.
Like all pro caliber tackles last year. And like, you can't add better than that for Justin Herbert, a guy that just got crushed in the pocket all last season and somehow made it out healthy. So I think this Chargers team is pretty good. And if I'm picking the Chiefs, we'll obviously, as training camp comes around, pick our divisions and all that stuff. I can tell you, if I'm not going to pick the Chiefs to win the division, it's going to be the Chargers, not the Broncos.
Yeah, I'm kind of that mindset as well. All right. I, too, have them losing to the Chargers for all the reasons you've stated. I think the Chargers are a really good football team. And I think the Chargers, I think the best the Chiefs can do is split. And I do fear that Jim Harbaugh plus Mike McDaniel equals what the Chiefs' worst nightmare. I mean, I think Mike McDaniel knows offense. I think he's got a lot of talent on the offensive line now, if it's healthy. I think he's got a running game, a running back. I think you're going to see Marion Hampton look a lot better this year for the Chargers. And so, yeah, I think the Chiefs are much more likely to go 0-2 than they are 2-0 when it comes to the Chargers, the way it looks to me right now. Final game versus the Raiders. It means nothing at 8-8, I'm assuming.
Yeah, Jeff, you've got Garrett Nussmeier starting in this game, right?
That's right. That's right.
You can actually go Raiders here.
I did go Raiders here. Yeah. I did go Raiders here. I got them out of the sub 500 category. I guess
we navigated like 10 games on the schedule. We're like, God, are we all going to pick the same thing?
I know.
And now we're way off.
Yeah. I got them winning sleep on the Raiders. Taking care of business. Silver and black.
I like it. It's ballsy. Okay. Sam, I'm assuming you didn't go the same way?
Yeah, I've got this game meaning nothing to the Raiders and the Chiefs needing this win to get into the playoffs, and I've got the Chiefs winning.
So you have brought them home at 10-7.
10-7.
Okay. I've got a win, and not shockingly, everything is lined up exactly as we thought it would. 8 wins for Jeff, 10 wins for Sam, and 11
I got 9.
for me.
I have 9 wins.
No, you've got 8.
Oh, you're at 8-9.
You're at 8-9.
You sure about that? I thought it was
Yeah, you're at 8-9.
You're at 8-9.
I thought they were 8-8 going into the final week, and I picked the Raiders.
Right, that's a loss. That makes 8-9.
I'm sorry, I picked the Chiefs to win. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have win down for. Yeah, I'm sorry. I must have said it wrong. No, I have them at 9-8.
Oh, you have them at 9-8. Okay.
10's where I wanted to end up. They're what 10 and a half, I think, in Vegas, and I think the Rashee Rice news, even if he plays, I still think it has an effect. And by the way, I mean, we talked about Rashee Rice last week. The one thing we didn't even mention is he had surgery apparently as well.
Yeah.
And so I just think that question. I mean, if I was going to be at 11, I don't think dropping it to 10 is out of the. I don't think it's outrageous to do that.
I am at 11-6, but I probably see 10 more likely than 12 for sure. Like and I see 9 way more likely than 13. If I could go from where I am.
If Mahomes had stayed healthy, they would have been 9-8 last year, probably, right? They probably would have won.
I don't know. I mean, I think they were going to be 6-8.
The Titans and the Raiders.
I think they were going to be 6-8.
But they wouldn't have. Would they have beaten the Broncos at home though?
That's the question mark. So maybe they.
That's maybe 8-9, 9-8.
I mean,
but yeah, they would have beaten the Titans and the Raiders with healthy Mahomes.
I don't know. Yeah, 8-9 looks 8-9 to me, but I don't know. All right, there it is. We reserve the right to change our mind with new information, but we've laid it out. 9-8 for Jeff, 10-7 for Sam. I've got him at 11-6. It's kind of like, I don't know, our usual optimism meter. That's where it is.
Yeah. Well, all I know is I was closest to what they ended up last year, so I feel pretty good about my chances again this year.
Okay. Yeah.
And
you were by far the most accurate last year. Yeah. So we got to give it to you. Gann Asphalt and Concrete will take care of all your parking lot needs. One contractor, all things parking lot. Of course, whether you need concrete, asphalt, line striping, maybe it's crack filling, seal coating. They do it all. One contractor, all things parking lot. Find them online at GannAsphalt.com. And when it comes to lunch, you can't beat Italian Delights lunch special. Starting at under $10. That's right. They've got some of those, whether it's pizza, whether it's strombolis, calzones, their world-famous subs, their great lasagna. You can order online at ItalianDelightKS.com or see them at 8145 State Ave, just a few miles east of the Speedway. For Jeff Chadiha, for Sam McDowell, I'm Soren Petro saying thank you very much for